Everyone says the answer to poor circulation after 60 is simple. Just keep walking. But what if that advice is only solving half the problem? Thousands of older adults faithfully reach their daily step goals. Yet they still struggle with swollen ankles, numb toes, aching calves, and icy feet every single night. The real reason may not be how far you walk, but what your legs stop doing between those walks. Here's something that surprises many of my patients. Some people who walk 3 miles every morning still have worse circulation than someone who exercises for just 10 focused minutes a day. That sounds impossible until you understand what actually moves blood through aging legs. And once you learn it, you'll never think about circulation the same way again. A few years ago, I met a retired school principal named Robert. At 68, he prided himself on staying active. Every sunrise began with a walk around his neighborhood, rain or shine. Friends admired his discipline, but every evening told a different story. His shoes felt tighter, his feet were cold beneath the blankets, and climbing the stairs left his calves feeling heavy and exhausted. Robert couldn't understand it. "Doctor," he said, "I'm doing everything people tell me to do." Yet little cuts on his feet seemed to heal slower than before. Standing in one place for only a few minutes became uncomfortable. He began avoiding family outings because his legs felt tired long before everyone else's. What frightened him most wasn't the discomfort. It was wondering whether this was simply what aging looked like. I'm Dr. Michael Carter, and after treating older adults with circulation problems for decades, I've learned something important. The biggest mistake isn't laziness. It's misunderstanding how blood actually travels back to the heart. Many people spend years focusing on the wrong habits while ignoring the one system that could make the greatest difference in their daily comfort and mobility. Most people imagine the heart does all the work of moving blood. That's only half true. Sending blood down to your legs is relatively easy because gravity helps. Bringing that blood back up is much harder. Your veins don't have a powerful engine pushing blood upward. Instead, they depend on your muscles acting like living pumps every time they contract. As we grow older, several changes happen quietly. Muscle strength gradually declines. Veins become less elastic. Tiny valves inside those veins don't close as tightly as they once did. Instead of flowing smoothly upward, blood begins lingering around the ankles and lower legs. That's when swelling, heaviness, tingling, and cold feet slowly become part of everyday life. Now, don't misunderstand me. Walking is still one of the healthiest habits you can have. I'm not asking you to stop walking. Far from it. The goal is to make every walk work better by preparing your circulation before you even take that first step. Think of it like warming up an engine before a long drive. It simply performs more efficiently. Today, I'm going to share 5 simple strategies I frequently recommend to older adults who want healthier circulation without expensive equipment or exhausting workouts. They become progressively more effective as we go along, and the final technique is one that many people overlook completely, even though it can activate muscles that ordinary walking often leaves underused. Let's begin with something almost nobody talks about: strengthening the toes. It sounds surprisingly small, but your toes are constantly helping your lower leg muscles maintain stability. When they become weak or stiff, the muscles above them don't activate as effectively. Studies of older adults have shown that better foot strength is associated with improved balance and more efficient walking mechanics. Here's how to try it. Sit comfortably with both feet flat on the floor. Spread your toes apart as much as you comfortably can. Hold for 5 seconds, then relax. Repeat this 10 to 15 times. If spreading your toes is difficult, simply practice lifting them gently before placing them back down. It's a surprisingly effective way to wake up muscles many people haven't consciously used in years. The next habit focuses on something that often receives even less attention than the feet: your ankles' range of motion. Healthy ankles don't just make walking easier, they help every muscle in the lower leg contract through its full movement. And when those muscles move fully, blood has a much better chance of continuing its journey back toward your heart. Here's the first movement. While sitting in a sturdy chair, slowly draw large circles with one foot, making 10 circles clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. Then switch to the other foot. This isn't about speed. Slow, controlled circles gently wake up the muscles surrounding the ankle while encouraging the veins to keep blood moving instead of letting it settle near your feet. Many people lose ankle mobility without realizing it because they spend more time sitting than moving. Over months and years, the joint becomes stiffer, your stride shortens, and your calf muscles no longer contract as powerfully with each step. That means less help pushing blood upward, leaving your legs feeling heavier by the end of the day. I remember meeting a 74-year-old gentleman who believed his circulation was getting worse every year. During his examination, one thing stood out immediately: his ankles barely moved. After several weeks of daily mobility exercises alongside his regular walks, he noticed climbing stairs became easier, and his evening leg fatigue gradually started fading. If ankle circles feel uncomfortable, don't force them. Begin with smaller movements and increase the size only as comfort improves. Pain should never be your goal. Gentle consistency always beats aggressive stretching. Once your ankles begin moving more freely, you're ready for the next habit. One that many vascular specialists quietly recommend because it activates several major muscle groups at once. Exercise number 3 is the simple chair sit to stand. It may look ordinary, but it's one of the most practical movements older adults can master. Every time you stand up without using your hands, you're strengthening your thighs, hips, and calves together. Those are the exact muscles responsible for supporting healthy circulation throughout the lower body. When you rise from a chair, large muscles squeeze the veins running through your legs. That squeezing action helps move blood upward toward the heart instead of allowing it to pool around the knees and ankles. Unlike walking on flat ground, this movement demands more muscle activation, making every repetition surprisingly valuable. Here's what concerns me. Many adults begin relying on their hands every time they stand. It feels harmless at first, but over time the leg muscles become weaker because they no longer carry their share of the work. Less muscle activity means less support for circulation, poorer balance, and eventually greater difficulty performing simple everyday tasks. Research consistently shows that lower body strength is one of the strongest predictors of independence in later life. People who maintain leg strength are generally more likely to remain active and avoid mobility-related disability. One of my patients proudly told me she realized her progress when she stood up from her favorite recliner without thinking about it for the first time in years. If standing without support feels difficult, begin by sitting on a slightly higher chair or placing a firm cushion underneath you. Crossing your arms over your chest encourages your legs to do more of the work, but if balance is a concern, lightly rest your fingertips on the chair until your confidence grows. Progress is far more important than perfection. We've already worked on your feet, your ankles, and your major leg muscles. But circulation isn't only about strength. Your body also depends on stability. In fact, there's one ability that quietly predicts how well many people continue moving through their 70s and 80s. Surprisingly, it has almost nothing to do with how fast you can walk. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Exercise number 2 is called the heel-to-toe balance walk. It looks simple, but don't underestimate it. Imagine walking on an invisible straight line. Place the heel of one foot directly in front of the toes of the other, then continue forward slowly. Every careful step forces dozens of small muscles in your feet, ankles, calves, hips, and core to work together. Why is this important for circulation? Because blood moves best when muscles contract in a coordinated rhythm. During a heel-to-toe walk, your body makes constant tiny adjustments to keep you upright. Those repeated muscle contractions gently assist the veins in pushing blood upward while also sharpening the balance system that protects you from dangerous falls. One hidden problem with aging is that many people begin taking shorter, slower steps without realizing it. They shuffle instead of walking with confidence. That small change reduces muscle activation throughout the lower legs. Less muscle activity means weaker circulation, stiffer joints, and a greater chance of stumbling over everyday obstacles like rugs, curbs, or uneven sidewalks. Health experts estimate that falls remain one of the leading causes of injury among older adults every year. Yet, improving balance through regular practice can significantly lower that risk. One gentleman told me that after practicing this exercise in his hallway for just a few weeks, he no longer felt the need to grab every piece of furniture while walking through his home. Always perform this movement near a hallway wall, kitchen counter, or sturdy railing. There's absolutely no prize for doing it without support. Start with 5 slow steps forward, turn carefully, and return. As your balance improves, increase the distance little by little. Confidence grows through repetition, not through taking unnecessary risks. Now we've reached the one technique I most wanted to share with you. The surprisingly simple, requires no equipment, and can be done almost anywhere. Unlike ordinary walking, this movement keeps your calf muscles under steady tension for several seconds, creating a stronger pumping action that encourages blood to travel back toward the heart more efficiently. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift your heels while keeping your toes planted. Rise as high as you comfortably can, then hold that position for 5 seconds before lowering your heels just as slowly. That gentle hold is what makes this exercise different from a quick calf raise. During those 5 seconds, your calf muscles remain fully engaged instead of relaxing immediately. That sustained contraction gently squeezes the deep veins running through your lower legs, helping blood continue its journey upward instead of lingering around your ankles. Think of it as giving your natural circulation pump enough time to complete each full cycle. The mistake I see most often is rushing through the movement. People bounce their heels up and down as quickly as possible, believing more repetitions mean better results. In reality, speed often reduces muscle engagement. Slow, controlled movements usually activate the calf muscles much more effectively while placing less stress on the joints. Exercise specialists have repeatedly shown that muscles respond better to controlled contractions than hurried repetitions. One retired mechanic I treated started performing this movement while reading the morning newspaper. After several weeks, he noticed his socks no longer left deep marks around his ankles by bedtime, and his legs felt noticeably lighter after long afternoons on his feet. If lifting both heels feels difficult, begin with 1 foot at a time. You can even reduce the holding time to 2 or 3 seconds until your strength improves. The goal isn't to challenge yourself to exhaustion. The goal is to wake up those hard-working calf muscles consistently, day after day, because consistency is what creates lasting improvement. By now, you may have noticed something important. None of these movements are extreme. None require expensive machines, long gym sessions, or perfect athletic ability. They're small actions with a surprisingly big purpose, helping your body do what it was designed to do naturally. And when people stay consistent with them, the changes often reach far beyond their circulation. Now I'd like to ask you something. Which symptom sounds most familiar to you? Cold feet that never seem to warm up? Swollen ankles by the evening? Leg cramps during the night? Or do your legs simply feel heavy after standing for a while? Let me know in the comments below. I read as many of your experiences as I can, and your stories often inspire future videos. If you've been struggling with poor circulation for weeks or months, don't settle for guessing. At your next medical appointment, ask specific questions. Could your symptoms be related to vein problems? Should your circulation be tested? Are your medications affecting blood flow? Would compression stockings or supervised exercise benefit you? Sometimes asking the right questions is just as important as finding the right exercise. There are also simple daily habits that quietly support healthy circulation. Avoid sitting for long periods without moving your legs. Stay well hydrated unless your doctor has advised otherwise. Wear shoes that allow your feet to move naturally. And if you smoke, know that quitting is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your blood vessels and your overall health. The encouraging news is that your body has an incredible ability to adapt, even later in life. While aging brings natural changes, your muscles, balance, and circulation can still improve with regular, gentle movement. You don't need to become an athlete. You simply need to give your body consistent opportunities to work the way it was designed to. Several months after I first met Robert, he returned for a follow-up visit wearing the biggest smile I'd seen from him. He told me he had started taking evening walks with his wife again. Not because someone told him to walk farther, but because his legs finally felt strong enough to enjoy the time together instead of worrying about every step. What touched me most wasn't that his circulation had improved. It was hearing him say, "Doctor, I stopped thinking about my legs." That's something healthy people rarely notice. When your body works well, it quietly stays in the background, allowing you to focus on your family, your hobbies, and the moments that truly matter. Never underestimate what a few intentional minutes can accomplish. Independence isn't usually lost in one dramatic moment. It's shaped by hundreds of small daily decisions. And in exactly the same way, strength isn't rebuilt overnight. It's earned one healthy choice, one gentle movement, and one determined day at a time. Let's quickly review today's 5 habits. First, strengthen your toes. Second, improve ankle mobility. Third, practice chair sit-to-stands to build powerful leg muscles. Fourth, challenge your balance with heel-to-toe walking. And finally, make the seated calf compression hold part of your daily routine to activate your natural circulation pump more effectively. Remember, these exercises aren't meant to replace walking. They're meant to make walking more effective. Together, they strengthen the muscles that support healthy blood flow, improve balance, and help you stay active as the years go by. The goal isn't simply living longer. It's continuing to enjoy the freedom to move comfortably and confidently. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based health tips designed especially for adults over 60. And before you leave, tell me in the comments, which of these 5 habits are you going to start today? Your answer might encourage someone else who's facing the same challenge. One final reminder. This video is for educational purposes only and should never replace advice from your own healthcare professional. If you develop sudden severe leg pain, one leg becomes cold or pale, you notice sudden swelling in only one leg, or you have a wound that isn't healing, seek medical attention promptly. Thank you for watching, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.